Today we're going to do lesson 4.7, which is on point slope form. Like I said in 4.6, we're going to be writing equations when given different information. Today we're going to be given 1 point and we're going to be given a slope. So you could get 1, 1, and a slope of 3, and we will be able to write an equation. So let's start with some practice first. Here's our essential question. How can you write an equation of a line when you are given the slope and a point? Well, we're going to get to that. So here's our practice. We have a point on our graph, and we have a slope. So -2/1. So I'm going to go down 2 and then to the right 1. I'm going to start at this point. Down 2 to the right 1. 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 And here is my y-intercept. So my equation is y equals -2x, because we already know our slope. And we found our y-intercept, which is -2. Let's do it again. Slope of 1/3. So I'm going to go up 1 and to the right 3. Here's my point. And I'm going to keep going until I get a y-intercept. Up 1 to the right 3. Well, if I go that way, I'm not going to get it. So I'm going to go down 1 to the left 3, and there it is, my y-intercept. So y equals 1/3 x, because there's my slope, and my y-intercept is +1. Let's do 2 more. Slope is -2, so I'm going to put the negative up here. I'm going to go down 2 and to the right 3. So down 2 to the right 3, I land right on 0, 0, which is going to be my y-intercept. So y equals -2/3 x. And I could put +0, or I could just leave it. This should be a 2. It doesn't come out really good. So here we go. I'm going to go up 5 and to the right 2. So here's my point. Up 5 to the right 2. I land right on my y-intercept. Y equals 5/2 x plus 5. However, there's a better way of doing it. Please put this into your notes. Pause the video if you need to catch up. I would put everything on here in your notes. The words, the algebra, and the picture. Put it all in your notes. So in words, point slope form is a linear equation written in the form of y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1 is in point slope form. The line passes through the point x1, y1, and the slope of the line is m. So make sure you get this into your notes, because this is what we're going to be using quite a bit. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Sorry, it didn't work out. And the point that we're going to be given, remember I said we're going to be given the slope and the point. The point is going to be x1 and y1. Okay, and our slope obviously is going to be our m. So we're going to use that information, plug it into an equation, and simplify it down to y equals mx plus b. Again, pause the video if you need to catch up, otherwise we're going to go on and practice. We're going to do all 3 of these, but I'm going to erase as we go. Y equals, whoops, sorry, I started writing the slope-intercept form. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. We have all the parts of slope-intercept form. Y equals mx. And eventually we'll have our plus b. That will be out here because we have to do the distributive property. But for right now, we're just going to ignore it and not worry about it right now. Okay? So let's go ahead and start with number 1. Remember, this is x1 and this is y1. So we're just going to plug everything in. Y equals... Here's our y1, so that, whoops, minus y minus 2 equals, we have our m, which is negative 4, times x minus, and here's our x1, which is 1. So I plugged it in. Here's where this one went. Here's where this one went. And here's where this one went. Okay? So let's go ahead and simplify. Y minus 2, nothing can do over there. Here I can do the distributive property, so I get negative 4 times x. Negative and a negative gives me a positive, so plus 4. I need to get y by itself. I add 2 to both sides. So I get y equals negative 4x plus 6. There, ladies and gentlemen, is our equation. Okay, let's erase all of this. I'm going to even erase that. And let's do this again. Starting out, y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Okay, here we go. Y minus, remember, x1, y1, so this is 0. M is 1. X minus, here's our x1, so 7. This side is easy. X minus, or y minus 0 just gives us y. Distributive property, 1x minus 7. Ladies and gentlemen, there's our equation. Nice and easy. Okay, I'll leave that here. Let's do the third one. Feel free to go back and rewatch this if you need to. The more times you see it done, the easier it's probably going to be. So here we have x1, here we have y1, and of course our m. Bigger numbers, let's see how it works out. Y minus, here's y1. Now it's minus a negative 5, so I'm just going to keep that in there right now. Equals m, which is negative 3/4, times x minus, and we have a negative 8. We're going to keep that in there too right now. So let's work with the negatives right away. When I'm subtracting a negative, I can make this a positive. So this is actually y plus 5. Same thing here. This would be actually plus 8. So now when I do my distributive property, I get negative 3/4 x. Now I want negative 3/4 times 8 over 1. 3/4 of 8 is 6. Even if we simplify this way, we get a negative 6, so it's going to be minus 6. Now we have to get the y by itself, so subtract 5. Y by itself, negative 3/4 x. We can't subtract 5 from that, and this would give us negative 11. And here is our equation. So plug the numbers in. You got x1, y1, and the slope, and then simplify. Distributive properties, subtract on both sides, or add on both sides will work. Let's do these. This is like what was before. We have our slope. Here's our point, 1, 1. We have our slope. Here's our point, negative 3, 4. So let's go ahead. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So we've got x1 is 1, y1 is 1, and our slope is 2. So y minus 1 equals 2 times x minus 1. This side leave alone. Distributive property, 2x minus 2. Now I can add 1 to both sides. Y equals 2x minus 1. And there's our equation. Same thing here. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. x1 is negative 3. So x minus a negative 3 would be the same as x plus 3. Our slope is negative 1. This would be y minus 4. So y minus 4 stays the same. Let's do the distributive property. Negative 1x minus 3, because a negative times a positive gives us a negative. Add 4 to both sides. Y equals a negative 1x, and we're coming out of the hole, so plus 1. There's our equation. Try these two. Pause the video, go ahead and try them, and then let's see how we do. Our point here is 2, negative 3. So y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. And for a while you guys are getting used to this, what I would recommend is always writing the equation down right away just so that you know you've got it. So y minus y1 is a negative 3, so it'd be plus 3. M is negative 1/2 times x minus 2. So y plus 3, distributive property, negative 1/2 x. Half of 2 is 1. Negative times a negative would be a positive 1. Subtract 3 on both sides. Y equals negative 1/2 x minus 2. And if you want, I'm going to put the negative down here. So I'm going to go up 1 and to the left 2. Up 1 to the left 2. Negative 2 is my y-intercept, and that's what I've got down here. If you want to double check it that way, you most certainly can. But I really, really, really need you to get used to working with slope-intercept form. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1, okay? Our point is 3, 1. So let's plug them in. Y minus 1 equals m times x minus x1. Y minus 1 stays the same. Distributive property, 2/3 x minus 2/3 of 3 is 1. I'm going to add 1 to both sides, which gives me 0. So y equals 2/3 x. You could put the plus 0, but you definitely don't have to. And again, I'm going to go up 2 and to the right 3, other way, down 2 to the right 3. My y-intercept is a negative 1. Oh, wait, here's my mistake. This should be 2/3 of 3 should be 2. So that would be a minus 1. Whew. Good thing I double-checked my answers. That's always a good thing to do. Point is, make sure you check your answers when you go through it. Okay, last question before I give you the homework. Write a point-slope form equation that passes through the point negative 6, 1 with a slope of 2/3. So here we go. Y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. Pause the video, do it on your own, and come back and see if you're right. Y minus 1 equals 2/3 x minus a negative 6, so we're going to call that plus. Y minus 1, distributive property, 2/3 x. 2/3 of 6 would give me 4. Add 1 to both sides. Y equals 2/3 x plus 5. Another way to check it, if you want, is you can change this now just to an x and y and plug it in. So 1 equals 2/3 of negative 6 plus 5. So again, 2/3 of negative 6 would give me 4. This would be a negative 4 plus 5 would give me 1. 1 equals 1. I know this is correct. Your homework is another relatively short one. You are going to do the 4.7 exercises following this video and Go Formative, which is 1 through 11. And your final answer is going to be in slope-intercept form, y equals mx plus b. Although, again, you are starting with y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. We're also going to be using this in our next lesson, so get used to seeing this. You're going to be seeing this a lot. If you have any questions, feel free to message me.